Hello everyone, this is Siddharth and I'm a student from NIT PY from Department of Computer Science and Engineering. And in this session we are going to learn about DHCP, which is a dynamic host configuration protocol. So in this video we will look into what is the need of DHCP and its applications and its advantages and how it works and even the practical application of that using Cisco Packet Tracer. So DHCP is a critical networking protocol that allows devices to automatically get IP address from a network, simplifying connectivity across your network without needing any manual configuration. So this is the basic thing that DHCP does in a network. So in order to know what is the need of DHCP, so without a DHCP, every time a device joins a network, an IP address should have to be assigned manually. This would be a major challenge, especially in larger networks with multiple devices joining and leaving frequently, like in offices, schools, and even at your homes. DHCP allows this process to be completed, automated, and error-free, making life much easier for the configuration over a network. So this is the basic need of DHCP, why we have to watch this session and what is the use of DHCP in the networking configuration. So to get the basic how it works, DHCP is a network management protocol. As I mentioned, it assigns IP address automatically without any manual description. So DHCP is a network management protocol used on internet protocol where a DHCP server automatically assigns IP address and other configuration parameters. Even not only devices, it will also assign to your PCs, laptops and other devices also which are present in network, so they can communicate effectively with their own IP address. Now if we see the key terminology of DHCP protocol, which involves DHCP server. This is usually a router, but it can also be a dedicated server. It is responsible for managing the IP addresses in a network for assigning them to a device as they join. And next is DHCP client. Any device like your laptop, smartphone or IoT gadget that requests an IP address when it connects to the network. And IP pool. This IP pool basically consists of a large number of IPs that has to be assigned to the clients, whether it is a home, office or any working place, and it consists of a pool of IP addresses like up to 192.168.1.2 to 192.168.1.100. Only these addresses within the range can be assigned to the DHCP server. And next, the key terminology is lease. Lease is basically that is an IP address should be assigned not permanent. Basically, it is assigned to a device temporarily only. Once the lease expires, the DHCP client must renew it so that the address can be reused again and it can be given to any other device. Now, if we see the working process of DHCP, it is summarized as a DORA, which stands for Discover, Offer, Request and Acknowledge. So let's walk through all three steps in order to get the better understanding about the working of DHCP. First, discover in the sense when a device connects to a network, it sends out a DHCP discover message as a broadcast. It is basically saying that, hey, is there any DHCP server out there that can give me an IP address? So this message is then sent to all the devices on the local network. Next, offer. Offer in the sense that DHCP server receives the discover message and responds with a DHCP offer. This offer message contains an IP address that the server is willing to lease to the device, as well as other details such as subnet mask, DNS servers and even the gateway information about that network. And next is request. Request means after receiving the offer, the device sends a DHCP request message that it is willing to take that the offered IP address. This step is important because there may be multiple DHCP servers might respond and client uses this step to confirm its particular IP address which has been given by a DHCP server. And next but the last step is acknowledge. Finally, the DHCP server responds with the DHCP acknowledgement message. This message officially assigns the IP address to the client for a specific lease duration. Now the device can able to communicate among the network by using this particular IP address. Here we are to implement the DHCP protocol practically in a Cisco Packet Tracer. I used this since Cisco Packet Tracer provides better visual representation, so you can use any other network interface also. So in this configuration, I used 6 pieces to create two different LANs. Basically 192.168.1.0 is considered as LAN 1 and 192.168.2.0 is considered as LAN 2. And one router I have used which will act as DHCP server. As I previously mentioned in the discussion, a router can act as DHCP server in order to provide the IP addresses to the respective PCs in the network. So now we will try to connect this router to the both the LANs. We first for that we use fast Ethernet 0 by 0 and we provide the default gateway address of LAN 1, which is this, and we will use the subnet mask will be provided automatically and we will on the port, and we will go to fast Ethernet 0 by 1 in order to connect it with LAN 2. So we will give the 192.168.2.1, which is default gateway address of LAN 2, and subnet mask automatically provided, and we will on this port also. So if we see the router, which is nothing but DHCP server, has connected to both the LANs. Now it's time to configure the DHCP server in order to provide the router IP address. So first we will exit from the existing configuration, and now we type the command in order to enter to the DHCP configuration. For that IP DHCP and pool, we will give the default gateway address of LAN 1 192.168.1.1. See, now we entered the DHCP configuration. Now we will add the network so that it will work on the network. So network 192.168.1.0 and the subnet mask of that particular network 255.255.255.0. So we have entered the network, and now we also have to enter the default gateway, which is nothing but router. So default router router, and we will enter the IP address of that router 192.168.1.1. Now if it is necessary we can enter DNS server also, but it is optional. So in this I am entering for just your understanding purpose DNS server. We can enter anything. Now I am taking 8.8.8.8 as DNS server. So we configured the DHCP server for the first LAN. So now it's time to exit from the DHCP config. Now we had done everything for the connection of LAN 1. Now it's time to do for LAN 2. So for that we have again want to enter into DHCP config. For that we have to do IP DHCP next pool. Now it's enter the IP LAN address of the next network 192.168.2.0. Okay. Now we had entered the IP config. So again we will type exit for our particular clarification, and we will again enter into the DHCP config IP DHCP config pool and enter the IP default gateway address of the LAN to 192.168.2.1. We enter into the DHCP config. Now it's time to add the network LAN to. So we will use network command 192.168.2.0 and its respective subnet mask 255.255.255.0. So we had done this, and we add the default router for the process of communication as previously done in before LAN network. So default router 192.168.2.1. We added the default gateway router, and additionally we will also add the DNS server for our best clarification purpose, better understanding. 8.8.8.8. Now everything is ready so that our router will act as a DHCP server in order to provide the IP address of the nodes. Now go to config and save the router's CLA. Now it's time to check whether our network is properly working or not. So in order to check that, go to any particular PC in any LAN 1 and LAN 2 and go to desktop and go to IP config and click on static. And if you see that the IP address has been automatically allocated by using DHCP server. So as already mentioned, there will be a lease of IP addresses which will be provided only for particular duration. So for this PC0, the IP address 192.168.1.2 has been assigned only for a particular lease array. And if we see any other PC also, like PC3, go to desktop and IP config. And if you click on DHCP, for this also the IP address has been attained automatically. Now we will check whether we are able to communicate or not. So for that go to command prompt and type ping command and 192.168.2.2. So if you see we are trying to send a packets to the other LAN network, it may take some time, and see we got a reply. Since first packet is lost, in order to gain the network topology, the first packet has been lost and the remaining all packets has been transferred, and the maximum, and we lost one packet and we had received the 4 packet. So that's it, and we successfully implemented the practical application of DHCP protocol in Cisco Packet Tracer. I hope everyone understood it. Now, if we see the advantages and the limitations of the DHCP protocol, first is automated IP assignment. As we basically know the definition of DHCP, DHCP removes the need for manually assigning IP addresses, which reduces the errors and simplifies the network management. And the second advantage is efficient IP management. In large networks, the DHCP ensures that IP addresses are used manually without any conflicts. And the final thing is dynamic allocation. Devices can join and leave the network seamlessly without any manual intervention. So these are the basic advantages, and there are some limitations also for the DHCP protocol, like not ideal for devices which require static IPs. So devices like servers, printers and gateways often need fixed IPs in a network in order to establish the communication from sender to receiver, which are best set up manually or via reserved DHCP entities. And there may be some of the security risks, which is one of the limitation. So unauthorized users can obtain an IP address if the DHCP server is unprotected, which may be one of the security concern. Now, to summarize the session, DHCP is a powerful protocol that automates the IP management in the networks. Using the DORA process, which is nothing but discover, offer, request and acknowledgement, is a process to assign the IP addresses dynamically in a network by using DHCP protocol. This makes managing and scaling networks much easier. DHCP does have some limitations as we previously learned, especially in terms of security and the need for static IPs, but its benefits are invaluable for the most of the network environments. And thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope everyone got the brief understanding of how DHCP works and what are the needs of it, its advantages and disadvantages. Thanks for it.